Welcome back everyone, and today we're doing an internal competition. Yes, we decided that this year we were going to do a competition every month within the studio to keep ourselves entertained, because it's nice to do something fresh every now and then. So, competition has to have a brief, and we've got a number of things. It could be video, it could be photography, it could be anything. And we're all going to come up with a brief every other month so that it keeps it fair, everyone gets their turn. And as no one had done one over Christmas, I created the brief and put it out for everyone. So this brief is all about an advertising shoot, to create a mock-up advertising shoot for a product. And the product has got to be a cheap product. It can't be a Gucci watch or something that everyone's going to go, wow, that's amazing. So we've got to take an average, everyday product, and also we've got to create it with a set that doesn't cost the earth. I think we put a limit of 50 quid on the item, 50 quid on the set. That's it. That's the max that you can spend on this. If you didn't pay for the product, it can't be worth more than 50 quid. That's our caveat to that. So it keeps it nice and low. We're not talking sports cars or anything else. And then we've got to create a nice page to advertise this and sell it with. So my product is a puzzle. It's this puzzle. And it's in the box at the moment, but it's a wooden puzzle. I'm going to create this. I'm going to do some sand. I bought some sand. We bought some palm trees. Got a bit of a blue background. That's going to be the start of my shoot and how I put this together. So let's watch and see what we do. See what you think. Be interesting to see. Okay, so I've poured some sand pretty much all over the studio. Hey ho, that's the way it goes. Yeah, so now I'm just going to look at lighting that scene, and then we'll look at putting some extra bits in the scene then afterwards as well. Obviously, it's a pyramid puzzle. We've got Egyptian theme, hence all the sand and everything else. And I've also bought some little props and stuff, which are palm trees and camels, because why not? And we'll just have those in the background, very blurred out, and we'll see how that works anyway. So we're going to just set this up now and set some lighting up and see what we get with the lighting. As I'm going for an A4 portrait shot, the camera is in portrait mode to make the most of the real estate and to get the best out of it. So that's what we're going to do there. So we're just going to take a test picture and see where we go. Set the settings right. Very, very bright. Right. Now, one of the things we've got here is, obviously, I'm working at this at 1.8 because actually I'm going to do focus stacking to get the depth of field all the way through into this product, and we'll sort that out after. There will be another video linked up here somewhere. Oh, that corner, I'm far away from the screen, which talks about focus stacking and things like that as well, and how I do it. But here, we're going to do focus stacking on the way back, and then we'll blur it out afterwards, so we've got a nice blur background. The blue, although I'll probably replace that blue, it's there at the moment, so that if I get any tinge or anything else, it makes it feel better for me when I'm taking the photograph. It's not essential, but it'll be a nice line and cut in for anything that's blurred out or bokeh in the background. Okay, so we've pretty much decimated the table with sand all over it now, which is great. So I got it lined up in the position that I wanted. I needed to bring it forward. So yes, we're going to get even a shallower depth of field, but once we put the focus stacking in, it's not going to be a problem, he says. And now I'm going to build up the back scene with the little camels and palm trees just going off into the back as well. Okay, so now I've got my little camels in and my palm trees, and one of the great things is we've got this just one light here that's giving it, because it's the sun. I don't want to be unrealistic and light it from every angle. This isn't the product shot in terms of making it studio look. I want to match in as though you'd imagine it. So we've got the big sun coming down there. We've got some shadows cast off on those palm trees as well at the back there. We've got the camels now. Camels don't really look realistic, especially the colour, but we'll correct that when we're in post, in all fairness. I think we'll get away with that, he says. Yeah, we will. So I think that shot is pretty much set up now. So now we're going to do the focus shift and take all those shots, take it into Lightroom and just have a quick look and just check that I'm happy with everything that's in there, that we've got enough shots, and then we can sort of try and tidy the studio up. So as you can see, this isn't overly complicated. We've not tried to spend hours doing this. I've literally spent 15-20 minutes setting up this. That includes talking to the camera as well to get this scene set up. So really quite nice and easy. Right, that's it. I've done this now. This has all been hopefully in the bag. I've checked it. I'm quite happy with the photographs. I did have to change a few things. So once I did the set, I realized there's certain corners that weren't right when I zoomed in and had a look. It's just part and parcel of product photography. So I probably spent an extra 15 minutes just correcting those and retaking the shots, because there's quite a few shots to take. Although it's automatic, it still takes time. So now let's go into post and see what we do with that. Okay, so I'm using Zareen Stacker for doing my focus stacking. I think it's a fantastic tool. You can use Photoshop and stuff. I just paid for this version because I like it. Now, if you notice there, I've got two folders. This is the full folder with all the images in. So everything's going to be in focus. So this is going to go away and process. And if we scrub on to the very end, you can see everything's in focus from front to back. Amazing. Now this is just the JPEGs. I'm going to go through and process this in Lightroom in a minute. I'm just showing you what it does. The second folder basically is all the bits taken out that I don't want in focus. So I actually don't want all of the camels and palm trees in focus. I want them out of focus. I want depth of field on that. I just want the whole pyramid in focus. So as you can see, there's a lot less images here. It's going to be a lot quicker to do. Basically, I've got everything in focus apart from the camels and everything else, which is fantastic. So there we go. Now I'm going to take that into Photoshop. I'm going to play with it. And as I said, they're the JPEGs that were out the camera there. You can go into Lightroom and you can tweak all these and have them change the color settings, everything else. And as you can see, that's what I've redone here, and it's coming in a slightly different color, just because the color temperature wasn't set on the other. So now I'm going to play around, and I'm sort of playing around with the text that's going to go on this because it's an advertising shot. And we're going to see what I like, choose a nice little font, put that in, and start to bring this scene to life. Now, I originally decided to put a Pharaoh in and keep the blue background, and I played about with that and didn't like it in the end, so that's come out. And that's part and parcel of it. I might have an idea of what it's going to be, but I don't know 100%. As I go along, certain stuff works, certain stuff doesn't. So what I've done now is I'm creating a mask because I want to alter colours and things like that and do different sections. But I want to cut out all this foreground and cut out the background, should I say, and put a different picture in. So I've used the stock photo of the pyramids. I didn't go and take that photograph. Stuck that in. I think it fits really, really well. Obviously the sand colour doesn't match. We're going to sort that out. It's all in focus. I don't want it in focus, so we're going to Gaussian blur that so it looks like we've taken the photograph. It's in the distance, so it matches where that is. I'm going around the edges of the mask just to tidy it up and make it look neat because it was just roughly done. We go through and do that. Now I'm going through and I'm going to change the colour of the sand to match the background. Now you notice that it's changing the pyramid. I'm not worried about that. What I'm going to do in a bit is create a mask and just mask out that colour once I've got it and get rid of the pyramid back to its original colour, because that's the colour of the product and that's the way I want it. I don't want to change the colour of the product. That would be misleading for anyone who buys it. But no one's going to complain about sand that they're not buying if that's not quite the right colour. And that sand matches in. We've changed the fonts. There's a whole lot more we could do, and looking back now, I might have done some little circles with puzzles in and things like that, and done a few extra bits and pieces. But that's hindsight, basically. So that's it, start to finish. Okay, that took me a bit longer than what I've gone through here with you, but just shows what you can do very quickly, really. That's the process. Hope you enjoyed looking at that from start to finish and seeing the process that I went through creating that. And obviously, the really important thing here is I won. I won the trophy for this month. Will that happen next month? We'll see. We've got to pick another one. In fact, we picked architectural for next month, so that'll be interesting. So we're out on the streets, going to pick a nice architectural location, and we're going to take a photo. So we'll see who wins next month. That's going to be a tough one. See you next time.
Got